Shake the body. Now, we're going to place a hand below the navel center and then a hand above that. We're doing what's called lower belly breathing. That's to lower your blood pressure, lessen your heart rate, and to encourage cerebral spinal fluid flow. So by expanding the belly as you breathe in and then drawing it towards your spine as you exhale, it's like a little diaphragmatic pump that helps get the brain waste and through that thoracic outlet. So from here, again, relax those shoulders. Let's breathe in, belly big. And then exhale, draw that belly button towards your spine, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. And again, breathe in, belly big. And exhale. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in, expand that belly. And exhaling. I'm going to come up to the front of the room, to the camera, to show you one of our postures. So this is called golfer's grip. We take the fingers, we fold them into the pad of the hands. And you try to have the top of the hand aligned with your forearms. You don't go around with these cocked wrists. And you may have fingers that don't come down. That's okay, all right? And this is called golfer's grip. It's part of the postural alignment with Pete Egoscu, if you know him. But what we're going to do with these golfer grip hands, again, whether you're seated or on the chair, you're going to squeeze your shoulders to where your arms look like a letter W, and then you press your feet firmly into the floor. Now, pressing the feet firmly into the floor, imagine that you're trying to spread out a wrinkle and you're pushing the legs to the opposite ends of the room while you squeeze the shoulders. We've got those golfer grip arms going on, and then we extend the arms out, still having a good squeeze of the shoulders. I'm taking the thumbs and pointing them towards you. Very slowly, arm circles in front and in back of your body. You may look from side to side. You may have a hand on the hip if you're just doing one arm at a time, but you got to squeeze these shoulders. So this helps facilitate bilateral alignment with the shoulders and with the hips. And a little soft bend in the knees or softly straighten legs. Go slower if it's spicy, or just leave it out. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. From here, bend the knees and shake. So shake from side to side. We do this in some of our Tai Chi classes, Chair Tai Chi, Standing Tai Chi. And then we're going to bring that energy up because we're going to do the other golfer's grip, the other direction, but we're going to kind of shake the body a little bit and then flap the wrists, good for carpal tunnel. Slowly rotate the palms up and again, bend the knees, flap the wrists. All right, now we're going to go back. So golfer's grip, letter W, squeezy shoulders, firm feet into the floor as if you're spreading the floor apart. You're pushing the outsides of the feet towards the outsides of the room and extend those arms out into a letter T. Now the thumbs are forward before. Let's do thumbs up, thumbs to the back of the room. Woo! Then you're going to draw a circle behind you and forward. So it's the other direction. If you can't wrap your brain around that, just do arm circles. It's okay, all right? You might feel a little burning going on in those shoulders and the upper back musculature. For gentle yoga for back care, we strengthen that upper back in addition to the low back. So it's all good or all bad, depending on your opinion, right? Let's do 3 more. 3, squeeze, 2, and 1. And then bend the knees and swing the arms. So yes, we're doing a little Tai Chi within our gentle yoga for back care because we're just kind of shaking that stuck energy out. If you're seated, you're swinging the arms. You don't necessarily are bending the knees, okay? Very good. 2 more. 2 and 1. And just kind of let it dangle here. Very nice. We're going to come down to the floor or seated on the chair. I got to make sure my feet come off the yoga mat. I use the chair to get down to the floor because I've got spicy back pain. So that's just, it is what it is. I just have my hands on the chair, step a foot back, come down softly onto that knee. And I got a spicy knee, so I don't necessarily want to have some weight on that or pressure. So I tip over. Nice and slow. I'm going to move this chair out of the way and make sure the yoga mat is away from the wall a little bit. I've got my block and my strap close by because we're going to use that today. We're going to do that golfer's grip again when we do the squeeze into the block, arms overhead movement. So we're kind of getting into our poses. First one is called constructive rest pose. Now, if you're seated in a couch, you're away from the back of the couch. You're seated in a chair, you're away from the back of the chair. The rest of us on the floor, come on down, woo, onto your back, and notice what you notice. So for me, because I have scoliosis and a whole bunch of disc issues, disc degeneration, reticulolisthesis, oh my gosh, some spondylosis, all sorts of things. This doesn't feel good in my body. So I grab my wrist and I pull that shoulder up and away, and that often makes it feel a lot better. And then I got to do the same with the other side. Now, sometimes laying here on the back side of the behind, it doesn't feel good. It feels kind of stuck. So I walk my feet towards my behind and I lift up and I re-roll my spine down to make it feel better for me. Now, some folks, their nose are pointed towards the back of the room. What I invite you to do, first off, is take the hands back behind the head and to kind of lift up and tuck the chin in. Now, if that doesn't make your nose point straight up, you might have to put a yoga blanket underneath the back of the head, the shoulders, to make it more comfortable. It might be more comfortable also if you have kyphosis, excessive curvature of the cervical spine. And again, you're doing what you can, right? In constructive rest pose, if you can do this either on the floor, maybe on the couch if you can't get down to the floor today, or on your bed, this often eases a lot of back tension out of the body. You got to stay here about 5 to 10 minutes. We're not going to do that today, but it kind of accumulates as we do the practice today. So for now, what I invite you to do is invite a knee in towards the chest. So lift a foot off the yoga mat, off the floor, and invite that knee into the chest. And we're going to point and flex. You can have your hands back behind the knee or the knee pit or on the knee pit or interlaced on the shin, whatever you can manage. So we're doing some articulation of the ankle. There may be some snap, crackle, pops going on here. This is also beneficial for your ability to walk better also. It's from the floor, from the ground up, yes? So we got to do something with those feet to make things better for your body systems. And we're going to make it all nice and still. And I'm going to look at my foot if I can find it. There it is. And I'm going to take the foot and draw a tiny, tiny circle inward. So it's trying to be the tiniest circle. So we're trying to do some fine motor skills here. It might feel kind of jaggedy, kind of, I don't know, not smooth. And then make it a medium circle. It might start to be a little bit more smoother. And then a big circle, warming up that ankle joint area. And then make that all nice and still. And then let's reverse that tiny, tiny circle the other direction. Ooh, feels really stiff on this side for whatever reason. And then make it a medium circle. Again, this is gentle yoga for back care with Gail today on Wednesday. And then a big, 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 big circle. Oof. And then let's release this foot down to the floor. Let's do the other side. So invite the other one in towards your chest. And again, notice if it comes more towards your body than the other one. So notice what you notice, one side versus the other. And again, if you're here for back challenges, you're typically going to find differences one side versus the other. And let's get that point and flex going. If you've been in class before, you kind of know the stuff that we do. It's not exactly the same every time, but for gentle yoga for back care, there are some specific yoga postures we work on for easing back pain. Hopefully we don't make it worse, but sometimes, we don't really know what your back issues are. You might do a little bit too much. You might find that it's like, ooh, that was too much. So you kind of have to, listen to your body. And this might be your first opportunity to do that. I encourage you to compare one side versus the other. All right, make that still. Okay, and I'm going to look. There's my foot. Okay. And then we're going to turn it inward. Tiny circle first. And then just notice, does this feel stiff? Does this feel a little bit more open compared to the first side? Or do you even notice? That could be an option too. Then make that foot a medium circle if you haven't already. I have already. And then a big circle. Ooh, I feel snap, crackle, pops happening on this side. And then pause and stop. And then turn the circle outward. Tiny, tiny. Now I'm kind of jaggedy on this one. This is my stiff side. It holds my scoliosis patterns. And then medium, make it a medium circle or a little bit bigger. Yeah. and then go as big as you can. Woo! Notice what you notice. I notice a lot of snap, crackle, pops going on here. And then release it down. You may have noticed a lot of shin business going on here, a lot of activation of the shin. From here, if you can, walk your feet or stomp your feet. And then come up on the balls of the feet or the feet and shake the legs. That's good for lessening those leg cramps every day. Go back to walking in place, stomp the feet. This might be hard to do laying on your back. Just do what you can, okay? And then feet on the floor, up on the balls of the feet, shake the legs, giving you 2 options there. Very nice. We're going to do what's called notice pose. I call it notice pose. It's several other things, but I like you to notice what your body's doing. So we're going to extend one leg all the way down to the edge of the yoga mat. You're on the back of the heel, straight leg, seated on the chair when you're doing this one. And then do the other one. Maybe they're kind of at angles a little bit when you're sitting on the chair. I just go nice and slow. And I'm going to shake my feet, shake my hips, shake my shoulders, and then just notice what you notice here. Now, so for me, I feel very, very tight on that right hip area. And then my opposite shoulder feels more into the floor. So again, notice what you notice. You feel some stiffness going on in kind of the pelvic bones or in your shoulders, the back of the legs, the feet. And again, this isn't as you can't notice this as much seated on the chair, but you might be noticing some issues, yeah? Okay, then we're going to slide a foot back onto the yoga mat. We're going to find our yoga strap next. Slide the other one because we got to work with those hips, those knees, those ankles. So find your yoga strap. There it is. You don't have a yoga strap, you can use a long bath towel or, skip it and do the video with the gear. If you don't have the gear right now, that's okay. Do it without the gear. But it's knee to chest pose, extend the leg out. But first you got to take that strap along the bottom of the foot somehow. All right, so from here, knee into chest, and then extend that leg out. You're resting on the back of the heel when you're doing this seated on the chair, okay? And then try to have, your foot to where it's not turning out to the side. It's all nice and aligned. And then we're going to inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, extend that leg out. Now maybe the leg can go closer to the floor if you're on your back, and then you know that you can inhale, bring it back because you got that strap there. You can also do this pose without the strap. So we're just, again, trying to lubricate the knee, the hip, the ankle. You might hear some little snap, crackle, pops going on. My left hip is doing a little clunk, clunk. It's not painful. It's just making that big old noise. So it's more alarming. And if you've got some knee issues, the meniscuses and all that, the meniscuses, you may be feeling snap, crackle, pops around that knee. So, maybe yours isn't as fast as mine. And again, you're going to make it kind of match what's okay for you. So again, this is one of the ways we if you rest, you're going to rust. So we're trying to oil up those hip joints, those knee joints, trying to do a little ankle glide here at the same time. Let's do 2 more. 2. That was 2. And then 1 and release. Then we're going to switch it to the other side. Switch it however you can. I take a little time to do this because I got to lift up on this side. So that's my tight side. Oh, it's super tight. So again, I invite the knee into the chest. I kind of compare it to the other side. Does it feel different in my body? Is it more towards my chest? Or, whatever. Is it different? Is it different in some way? That from here, let's extend that leg out and line everything up. So this one feels tight in my hip compared to the other side. And so that's my, my challenges. Yeah. I'm going to lower it a little bit, maybe, and maybe move my strap a little bit. All right. So with the next inhale breath, invite the knee into the chest. And then exhale, extend that leg out. Woo, I feel my shoulder tightening up, my backside. So yeah, when you have a yoga teacher that has back pain, they're probably a good candidate for teaching this class because they're trying to also not be in pain, okay? So we learn all the tricks. We take the training. My yoga postures I was doing was making my pain worse. And I was using a walker to get around. This is probably 6 years ago before I started teaching for VYP. And I took some specialized training to figure out what was I doing to make that all happen? Well, because of the scoliosis, and I had SI joint dysfunction, I was making my body feel worse by some of the what they call asymmetrical postures in yoga. So this way, there's a lot less pain. I don't have to use that walker. I'm able to do most things that I want to do. Am I climbing up the rock wall? No, because that's asymmetry going on big time. So that would really invoke the pain bear in my body. So I know which things I can and cannot do. Let's do two more. Here we go. Two. Woo. And one. And then release the strap. Release the strap. I like to say that. And then take it out to the side. So next is one of Vicky's favorites and one of my favorites called windshield wipers. Oh man, this is the good stuff. But if you're seated on the chair, it's not as sweet. So you may want to put your yoga block in front of you and put your balls of your feet on the yoga block if you're seated. Now, those of us on the floor or the couch, what we're going to do is, we're here in constructive rest pose. Once again, we're going to take one leg and lower it to the floor. So there's your windshield wiper. Now, for sometimes this doesn't feel good in the body. So what I like to do, I can find my yoga block. So I take my yoga block and place it underneath to where I can lay my leg weight on that, because I'm on the side of the foot also, which we don't normally stimulate the side of the foot when we do yoga postures or any activity. So opportunity, a little stimulation there. And then we're going to take that top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. Now we're not stacking. We're just letting that leg go towards the other one. So you have a low lumbar twist going on here. It might be spicy. It might. And some of your behind is rolled up off the ground. Mine's like very little right now. Well, what I like to do is either take the heel of my hand or my thumb, whatever's easier, and press into those areas that are causing a little spice. It's called trigger point therapy. I just give it a little counter pressure. Sometimes that just makes it so much better. Sometimes it's like, no, that's not happening today. So again, some, tricks of the trade here, okay? And then we're going to take that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. So we're back into constructive rest pose. Let's do the other side. I don't need the block on the other side. So we're going to drop the other leg out to the side, and I just already know that. And then take that top leg, gently drop it towards the bottom leg. And again, the camera will show you, I can slide my hand underneath, my booty has rolled off the ground. It's more rolling off the ground compared to the other one. So again, this is kind of my side that's got a little more ease in the body, not so tight. I'm able to do more, but doing more is not necessarily the best thing, okay? Now, we're going to take that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. We're going to do that windshield wiper again. So drop the leg towards the side, and I don't need it on the second side, that block, because it's already opened up a whole lot. And then take that top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. And I'm going to take my hand underneath, and I've kind of cleared the floor. So I've probably increased my range of motion at least an inch, inch and a half. So I'm kind of a little bit more deep in my twist. Now, sometimes being deeper in the twist means more sensation. When you have strong, spicy sensation, my advice to you is to listen to your breath. So listen to the breath going in through your nose. Expand the belly when you do that, and then exhale. So sometimes that redirection of senses allows you to stay in the posture. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. So you got to find your sweet spot, right? All right, take that top leg back to the center. We stayed in the pose a little bit. Bottom leg back to the center. So you're back to constructive rest pose. This is the heart of the yoga posture in this class. Other side, windshield wiper on the other side. If you're not already there, drop the leg. Take the other leg, drop it towards the bottom one. Woo! All right, so I've cleared a lot more space on the second try. Maybe you have too. Maybe you've noticed it. Maybe you're not noticing it. That's okay. Either way, all right? And then bring top leg back to the center. Use your hand if you need to, guide it back. And then that bottom leg. Woo! From here, let's march in place. A gentle pounding of the floor. That's good for bone building, okay? And then come up on the balls of the feet or flat feet. Shake the legs. Shake, 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 shake. Shake the hands too if you want to. My hands just want to shake at the same time. I don't know why that is. And then make everything still. And then let's do notice pose. Extend a leg. Here we go. See if it makes any difference. Ooh, okay. And then the other one. And shake the feet. Shake, wriggle those hips. Shake the shoulders. Arms out to the side or resting on your belly. So I'm already noticing right side is a little less tense, a little less kind of guarded. It's eased off a little bit. And the left shoulder, whatever I was feeling before, it's gone. So you might be noticing big changes or very subtle changes. From here, squeeze the belly button towards your spine and then bring the foot back onto the yoga mat, bring the knee bent, and then the other. Yay! Okay, I'm excited. So I'm going to sit up because I'm going to show you this next part, and it's not going to make any sense for you newbies, okay? So before we were doing that golfer's grip, right? Where we folded the fingers into the pads of the hands and we had the top of the hand aligned with the forearm. So we're going to be using that pose next. It's called overhead extension and squeezing of the block. So we're strengthening the hip musculature and we're also increasing the range of motion of the shoulders. Be cautious, be kind, all right? So what we'll be doing is interlacing the fingers, arms super straight here in front of our chest. And we'll be doing arms up overhead, whether you're seated in the chair, whether you're laying on your back. But if you can get over to a couch, I don't know, is the couch long enough for that? I don't know if it is or not. It might be. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into constructive rest pose. Grab your yoga block. You don't have a yoga block, you can take a pillow, a stuffed toy, or just inside of the knees, really squeeze them together. It won't be as effective, but you'll need to find a yoga block for next time we teach class or if you do the video. Now, my yoga block is up here just above the knees. So I'm going to heel toe my feet in to where I feel a kind of a moderate squeeze of my inner thighs. So we're activating that hip musculature, strengthening this lower body for easing back pain. And again, I'm going to lift a shoulder up and away because I kind of feel squishy here. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to go into golfer's grip. We're going to fold the fingers into the pad of the hand, both of them, have them out here in front of your chest, and then turn your thumbs towards one another, and then bend at the elbows. The back of the arms rest on the floor. If you're seated, you have parallel forearms to the floor. And those of us laying on our back, you might find some traction energy happening here from the top side of the behind and the shoulders. What we're going to do here, whether you're seated, whether you're lying on your back, walk those feet in a little bit more, get a little extra squeeze of the inner thighs and the hip bones. Whew. And we're going to squeeze the shoulders towards one another or push the shoulders into the floor and release. Keep a constant squeeze of the block though. So squeeze the shoulders and release. Press those shoulders into the floor and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze. Woo! And release. 1 more. Here we go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze it really good, really good. Woo! And then have the hands in front of you. Clap. We'll do that again. Oh, that was good. Rub the hands. Rub some circulation into the palms. Move it into the fingers. From here, with the hands in front of your chest, make the arms straight, interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms. If you're laying on your back, let those shoulders drop down to the floor. Now, the objective is make the elbows look the same. My right elbow likes to turn out, by the way, so I always got to, make sure that they look the same. And then you're going to zip up your abdominals, squeezing the block nice and firm. You're going to bring the arms up overhead, slowly. Now, this is more difficult to do seated on the chair. Just know that, okay? So if you have a natural stopping point, you're going to naturally stop there. So mine usually here is on the side of the glasses. And again, one shoulder may be saying, ooh, don't go too far. It's going to stop you from going too far, okay? Squeeze those palms, squeeze the belly button towards the spine, a little sneaky core work going on here. And then from here, with your squeezing of the palms, squeezing of the block, bring it back slowly. The objective is slowly back in front of your chest. Woo! Release the hands, clap the hands, do them again, and then rub some heat into the fingers because golfer's grip is no joke on those hands, okay? We're going back to golfer's grip. So fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, turn the thumbs to the center, bend the elbows. You look like a half of a letter T if someone was looking at you from the top down or from the sky looking at you. Here we go. Squeeze the block. Keep it consistent. Squeeze the shoulders and release. Squeeze and release. We'll do 5 of these. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. One more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't hold the breath. Yay. Hands in front of your chest. Clap. Oh, do it again. Rub some circulation back into the hands. And I'm always going, I should have exfoliated my hands before. Okay, never mind. Here we go. Interlace the fingers, straight arms, shoulders down, elbows look the same. Check, check, check. Okay. Belly button tight. This one's spicy, folks. Very effective though. So slowly bring it up and overhead, whether you're seated, whether you're lying on your back. Remember this one to do in the bed if you're doing this seated, okay? So this is a good one to do for kind of strengthening the upper back, strengthening the lower back. Now, did it go lower? Did it go, more up the side of the face? So mine's here on the side of my glasses now. And I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. I can't quite touch the floor. I'm not forcing it though. I do not want to force it. Squeeze the palm, squeeze the block. I lost my block, so I got to squeeze. Woo! Belly button tight. Bring it slowly. That's the fun or torture of this one, okay? Depending on your opinion, right? Woo! And bring it back here in front of your chest. Release the hands, clap the hands. Do that again. And heat. We're going to do this sequence one more time, just one more time. We do this 3 rounds of 5 shoulder squeezes. All right, interlace the fingers, palms, squeezy, straight arms, lower the shoulders. If you're on the yoga mat, make those elbows the same. Do what you can with what you got today, okay? Doesn't matter what you can do, just do what you can do. Here we go. Woo! Overhead, here it goes. Don't forget to breathe. That's important too. Don't hold the breath because we're going to, I get to talk and we get to stay in the pose a little bit. Oh my. So again, maybe take a breath, wiggle those thumbs. I can touch one thumb like barely. Sometimes I can really get the thumbs down, sometimes not so much. And it's okay. It's okay whatever you can do here because it's like, progression into making us feel better. Squeeze the palm, squeeze the block. Don't forget that squeezy block. Squeeze the belly button towards your spine. Slowly, whoa, bring the arms back in front of your chest. Oh my gosh, mine's kind of fast today. Release the hands. Wow, clap the hands. Get some heat into those fingers. You know what? Release the block, yay, but keep it close by. I'm going to turn a little sideways because we're going to do piriformis bounce and pigeon pose. So from here, we're still rubbing the hands. All right, from here, we're going to bring a leg in the air. So bring a leg in the air and shake it. Whether you're seated on the chair, whether you're here on the floor. And the leg that's in the air, might be what, you're going to have to figure out what your flexibility thing is. Now, so maybe this leg can go on top of the thigh. Maybe it cannot. Maybe it needs to go instead on top of the ankle bone. Now, if that's your case, you're going to have to slide a strap underneath the leg that's on top because we're going to bounce the piriformis. So basically we're wiggling the top leg. So this is, kind of moving that piriformis muscle. If it's here on top of the thigh, what you can do is bounce it away. Now, if you're seated, this can get a little spicy. You pull it towards you and let it release. So you can't really push it away seated. It just doesn't give you a good bounce kind of movement. So push it away. You can sometimes take your yoga block and push it away if you can't quite reach that leg. And again, if you are crossed at the ankle, you have to do something a little different. You can be crossed at the ankle seated on the chair too. You can just take that hand and just wiggle that leg. So this is important because this kind of releases the grabby sensation of the sciatica nerve. If you've got that shooty pain down the leg and the foot numbness, all that kind of stuff, kind of moves a little bit. That usually means a pinched, angry nerve somewhere either in the pelvic notch, in the piriformis muscle, or maybe somewhere up in the spine that's making this happen. Now make everything still. This is that was preparation for a pigeon, piriformis bounce. What we're going to do is take the bottom foot and tap, tap, tap that bottom foot. So a little bit of body awareness going on here. And then press that tappy foot firm into the floor. You're going to feel this traction feeling if you're on your back. And then take the top leg, point the toes towards your knee, whether it's at the ankle or on top of the thigh. Squeeze both buns, okay? And then here's the thing. You can take your yoga block and push the leg away. Now, if this is spicy seated on the chair, you sit up nice and tall and you hinge forward. You're going to feel it. Okay? You're going to feel it a little bit different area than you would if you're lying on your back. So those of you seated on the chair, I also invite you to remember this on the couch, on the bed, okay? Piriformis bounce, reclined pigeon. So this is like the safe pigeon. All the other pigeons cause asymmetry, and if you have SI joint dysfunction, it's going to cause lots of spicy pain. Because I've lived it in my body, okay? Woo! And then, are you still squeezing the bones? Are you still doing toes towards your knee? You're still pressing that leg away, hinging forward if you're seated in the chair. And then release and relax all that. Yay. Go back to bouncing. And release the leg, shake it up in the air. Yay. And then bring it down. We're going to do the other side now. So bring the other leg up into the air, off the ground. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Just, just shake it, okay? Want to shake the hands at the same time? Shake the hands at the same time. Come on. Or make them still. Doesn't matter, okay? All right. And then we're going to place that leg either, again, on top of the ankle or on top of the thigh. Make sure that ankle's past the thigh, though, so you're not knobbing that thigh. And now we got to bounce stuff. So, again, you can bounce it away. You can pull it towards you and let it drop. Again, seated, you're pulling it towards you and let it drop. There's a little bit of motion going on there. And again, you can take that yoga block and maybe kind of, we're not doing this vigorous, okay? We're just kind of getting a little bit of movement here, kind of warm up that piriformis muscle, get that sciatica to be not so grabby, okay? If you have those challenges, that's probably the one thing I don't have, maybe because I do this all the time, is that sciatica. Although, you know what, I take that back. After a long day, I find that right side gets kind of numb a little bit in one particular area in my behind. So, yeah. All right, so from here, we're going to be still and we're going to tap, tap, tap that bottom foot. Tap, 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 tap. Little calf pump too to return the blood flow back from the extremities back to the heart and to keep you from having leg cramps. So that's a good thing. And press that tappy foot firm so you get this contraction of the quadricep and this little traction energy going on from the behind to the shoulder bones. Now take the top toes, point them towards your knees, squeeze both buns, and then push that leg away. Put a little force there. Or you can use your own muscular strength to push it away. But I like to use a little bit of the block to do that. If you're seated, again, sit up tall and you're hinging slowly. It may be only a half an inch to where you feel some spice. Or a lot of spice. Maybe not some, maybe a lot. Breathe through it. Let's do the breath right here. Breathe in. Woo! Breathe out. So we got New Jersey and Hawaii in the house today, or Hawaii, not Hawaii. I don't know how you said that. Oh my goodness. Don't hold the breath. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Yeah, yeah. And we also have Alaska in the room. Yay. I don't think we have very many people from Kansas. I'm waiting for Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. I need some of those states that kind of line Canada. Oh, we got Canada in the house today too. Yes, I'm going to talk. We're going to hold the pose. How about that? Release. Yay, that's over. Or is it? Bounce it, wiggle it, and then shake it. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at our time here. We got to do cat-cow, side lateral flexion, and some twists. All right. So bring that foot down. So what we got to do, notice pose first. So I got to go back to on the yoga mat, move that strap out of the way, extend the leg, then the other, wiggle those feet, wriggle the hips, wriggle the shoulders. Woo! Notice what you notice. There might be a big difference between the first time we did this and now. I think this is the third or fourth time. It may not be so big. So just notice what you notice, right? Okay, so bring your foot back onto the yoga mat. So for those of us on the floor, and if you've got back issues, what you might want to do is lift up first, then twist. And I do that because, again, I have SI joint. If I do weight-bearing twist, like when you roll over on the bed, one side to the other, if you have a searing pain, the kind of the pelvic bones, it's like, oh, you got some things that aren't aligned up. Hand in front of you, Top leg, extend, press into the floor, come up. Now, since we've been on the floor, there might be some dizzy stuff going on. So take your time. I usually pause here and then I continue. So again, there could be a big equilibrium thing going on here where you're feeling like a little dizzy. So what I like to do is just sit here and bring my chin towards the chest and breathe a little bit. For me, this does not feel comfortable to sit on the floor. So I grab that yoga blanket and I have it in that nice little kind of a skinny rectangle size to where I'll fold it to a third. And then again, you can do this with a big towel, a beach towel, to where I have that big kind of at least about an inch of a lip here. And I bring it back behind me and I'm going to sit the edge of my booty onto that. Oh, that feels good. And I've got my yoga block. Sometimes that knee that I have challenges with is like, ooh, I want to rest that leg on the block instead of it being towards the floor. And this is the reason for having two blocks. You can have one on one side, one on the other. You can change the height depending on your tightness of what's going on with your hip stuff. We're going to do seated cat-cow. Now you can do this at the edge of your chair or seated on the floor. You can also do this standing. But what I like to do is, I kind of have my ears aligned with my shoulders aligned with my hips, the best I can do. If this feels weird, crisscrossing, you can have legs extended, one knee in, make it comfortable, okay? From here, we're going to curve the spine to the back of the room. Now, I invite you to keep your chin parallel to the floor. Don't drop it. Don't lift it. Again, this is back yoga, so excessive curvature of the cervical spine, we're just keeping everything kind of looking forward. So grab those shins, those knees, and curve to the back of the room. You got to be away from the back of the chair to make that happen. You're feeling maybe the muscles in the back kind of peeling away from those spine bones, maybe. So this is a pelvic tilt to the back of the room. Then slowly coming out of that pelvic tilt might be spicy to a tall seated posture. So go a little slower, okay, if that's kind of evoking the pain. Now, seated on the chair, on the floor, elbows out, hinge forward for your cow. Again, my eyeballs are looking at you, chin aligned with the floor. I'm not dropping the chin. I'm not raising it. Again, too much excessive curvature of the neck, spine muscles, bones. Had to think about what that's called. Then we're going to unhinge, come back to tall seated mountain. And then again, curve the spine to the back of the room. Maybe you're going deeper in that curve, maybe not. And then come out of it, come back to tall seated mountain. So again, you kind of notice it, that pelvis kind of coming back to its normal seated position. And again, hinge forward. So there's like 6 essential spinal movements. We're doing 2 of them right now, extension and flexion of the spine. Go back to tall seated mountain, nice and upright, whatever your version of upright is, yeah? And then last time, curve the spine. Don't drop that chin. Thank you. I'm looking at y'all. And then come back to tall seated mountain. Now, if you need to drop the chin because that's your thing, go ahead. But in back yoga, I'm going to cue it different, all right? And then hinge forward. Here we go. Here we go. I want to see your neck, okay? Beautiful. And then come back up to tall seated mountain. All right, now you might want to switch the feet. Maybe, I don't know. You might want to go right back. I don't know. We're going to do the spinal twist. Now, we did a little slow lumbar twist before, but we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called unsupported twist. We're going back to that letter W. So squeeze those shoulders. Palms are open this time, though. From here, what we do, we twist just the thoracic spine. There's a little bit of, the lumbar and the cervical spine happening too. But we don't take a hand to the opposite leg and then twist. That's called a supported twist, a levered twist. That might cause lots of pain in those of us with back challenges. So breathe in, expand the belly, squeeze those shoulders, belly button tight, turn over towards one side. So again, we're turning as a unit over towards one side, chin line with your chest. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, back to the center. Now, shoulders up and down, little lymphatic drainage when we do this nice little accentuated shoulders up and down here. And then go back to squeeze the shoulders. We're going to do the other side. So first, breathe in, belly big. Belly button tight. Here we go. Turn to the other way. Maybe you're twisting more this side. Maybe it's less. Re-squeeze anything that got unsqueezed. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center. Beautiful. All right. Next is side lateral flexion. If you're seated on the chair, maybe your hand is back behind you on the chair. Maybe your hand's on the floor or back behind you on the ground. First, we inhale, circle sweep with both arms up. And then we sneak the hand down on the chair back behind you, kind of squeeze that back shoulder, and then inhale, reach. Belly button tight. Exhale, lean that side body over. You're kind of going from the hip bone to the tips of the fingers here. Woo, do what you can. And again, I'm bending that back elbow, supporting my weight with the hand on the floor on the chair. Inhaling back on up. Exhale, float it down. Now, again, other side. Inhale, circle, sweep both arms up. Keep the other arm up, sneak the other one down. You can be on your fist or wrist here, okay? And again, inhale, reach, reach, reach those fingers towards the sky as best you can. And then, woo, exhale, belly button tight. Lean that side body over. Excellent. Again, some people feel a little bit of spice going on here, one side versus the other. Bring it back on up and down. Beautiful. Now we're going to do oppositional reach, but we're going to do this standing. So for those of us that are on the floor, the challenge is to get back up, right? So I use the chair because, again, I have spicy stuff, but I come on slowly onto my hands and knees, get that chair close by. And you can do this whether you have a chair or not. Bring a foot up in between the hands, hand on the chair, hand on the floor, curl that back toe, lift that back leg, hop walk that back leg towards the forward leg, hands on the hips, hinge up, hands to heart center, and feet a little wide, and breathe, because sometimes we can feel a little dizzy when we come up off the floor. So from here, I'm going to move that yoga blanket out of the way as you all continue to breathe. And for oppositional reach, you can use the wall, you can use your chair, you can just be standing in the middle of the room, whatever you need to do. So we did this in chair yoga for fall prevention. So basically, I had my fingertips on the chair, fingertips on the wall. I'm going to step 1 foot back. And then whatever leg I have stepped back, I'm going to take that opposite arm, elbow bent, or arm as straight as I can, fingertips on the chair, squeeze my behind, lift the leg. It may be a lot and maybe a little. So we're getting that multifidi, the deepest held layer of the back, to be contracted. When we don't use that multifidi muscle, it turns to fat, recruits other muscles to do the work, causing back pain. Release. Let's do a standing cat, either hands on the thighs or hands on the chair, and curve your spine to the back of the room. And then we'll do a standing cow. We're going to do fists on the hips, push the hips forward, chest to where the wall meets the ceiling, standing back bend basically, and release. Let's do the oppositional reach on the other side. So step the other foot back, be on the ball of the foot, or again, hands on the wall. Let me come over here, all right. And then opposite arm up. When you're ready, squeeze the bun, lift the leg off. Feel that contraction energy going on in the back side of the body, in that midsection. Again, if something's kind of achy, kind of painful, don't do it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And release. Let's do that standing cat-cow. Curve your spine. Kind of make those muscles peel away from the spine. And then do fists on the hips. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to do warrior 2 posture. And we're going to go back to those golfer grip hands. You're seated on the chair. Your seated warrior is going to be letter L eggs. You step a leg out. Press those feet firm to the floor. Turn your torso out and over the leg. Arms out and golfer grip hands into letter W. Those of us standing with or without a chair, step those feet wide. This is also a bone building posture when you're vigorous with the feet. Lift the heel, turn the foot, bend the knee. Oh, there's Joseph. They're in the room. Okay, Kansas is in the room. And then contract those shoulders. Golfer grip hands if you so choose. Again, press the floor, press it to the opposite ends of the room. So you're getting that musculature contracted. And then with the squeezy shoulders, guess what? Arms out into that letter T. Guess what we're going to do is arm circles. Thumbs to the front of the room and squeeze and rotate the arms. or arm circles. Now, if you need to hang on to the chair or hang on to the wall, do just one. So again, pressing those feet firm to the floor, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. I love it. Woo! 3 more. 3. I count slow. 2 and 1. Shake those shoulders. That's the best part of this pose, is this part right here. And then straighten that leg, pivot that foot, bring it in. We're doing the other side. We don't stay long in the warrior 2. Bring those feet out. Other side. Turn that foot, lift that heel, point the toe. See if your knees align with that foot. Maybe go lower because you got the chair, maybe not, okay? Letter W, golfer grip hands. So we're doing the traditional gentle yoga for back care class today, okay? Arms out into the letter T with squeezy shoulders, thumbs up, thumbs to the back of the room. Ooh, draw that circle behind you. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, that's the fancy name for it. On the other side, that's the Sanskrit name. I like to say that every once in a while, just every once in a while. You might hear other people saying more Sanskrit names, but I just like to say that one because that one's a big long one, yeah? 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Whoop. Shake it out. All right, straighten that leg, pivot that foot, walk it in. From here, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, shake the body a little bit. Just kind of shake that stress out. Turn side to side. Bring it up. Bring it down. Palms up. All right, beautiful. From here, let's see what we got on our list. What else we can do? You know what? We need to do block bridge. So we got to come back down to the floor. If you're doing this one's a hard one to do on the chair. This is one that doesn't really look, so because I don't have a back to my chair. But if you have a back to your chair, maybe you can do that. You press your behind up against the back of the chair. You're doing this seated. You're doing this on the floor or the couch. That's what I suggest. Get onto the couch with your yoga block. So let's get that back on down. Get back on down. And again, get your yoga block. This is number one reason for having a yoga block is this next posture, okay? So you're going to lay back into constructive rest pose. We do a lot of movement in this class. Let's do that notice first. So extend the legs, arms out to the side. Notice what you notice. You might be more melty into the floor, more connected. Might feel a little different than the beginning of class. We're going to change it up just a little bit more too. So feet back onto the yoga mat. Take your yoga block, if you can, press into the floor, lift up, sneak that yoga block here low on your behind. Now, I always feel kind of crunchy here, so I kind of walk my shoulders and upper back away. Okay, now if this doesn't feel good in your body, you can do the same thing without the block. But this is like the gravy right here, all right? Take one leg up into the air, shake it. Here we go. So again, this helps to release deeply held tissues in the back. And then shake it side to side. That's weird. That feels weird. Side to side. Yes. Woo. And then shake it up and down. And then bring that leg on down. You might feel some sensation going on here. Let's do the other one. Okay. Bring it up. Shake, shake, shake. Notice if one side feels different than the other. You can do this shaky leg seated on the chair too. And then shake it side to side. Ooh, my hip just popped right then. It went. It wasn't painful, it just made a noise. And then again, shake it. And you know what? If you can, hands down on the floor, bring the other leg up, do them both. Woo! And keep breathing, keep on shaking. Wiggle side to side. That feels strange, but okay. And then shake. Woo! And wriggle. Shake it again. Let's bring one leg down. Ooh, do y'all feel that sensation? Maybe. And then the other. Then you're going to press into the floor with the feet, squeeze the shoulders, lift up and take that block out and roll your spine down. Notice what you notice. It might feel like, oh, totally different. Yeah. Let's do notice pose. Extend one leg, shake that foot a little bit. Do the other one. Wriggle those shoulders. So you can either stay here for the guided rest and relaxation, but you know, some of us that have back challenges like to put the legs, the calves onto the chair, or they bend the knees bring the feet wide and they drop the knees in, or they do legs on the wall. So you got lots of choices, or legs on the couch. But what I'm going to do as you get comfortable is I'm going to come up to the front of the room and we're going to get ready for that guided rest and relaxation. So I invite you to get comfortable. That might mean covering up with a yoga blanket, taking your yoga strap, cover your eyes open or closed, whatever's okay for you. It might be getting more comfortable in your chair. Whatever you do, just get a little bit more comfortable. That might mean shaking out an arm or a leg and then doing the same with the other side. So in Veterans Yoga Project, we do 5 things. We do breathing, mindful movement, meditation. So part of the meditation that we do in my class is we coordinate the breath with the movement that helps you lower your cortisol, your stress hormone. You may do a guided rest, relaxation, and that gratitude practice. So for this guided rest, let's just kind of notice any physical sensations that might be happening. Maybe you feel a little tight one side versus the other. Maybe you have a little achy place. And that's okay, whatever you have, right? And let's think about the crown of our head as if there was a hole here. And as we breathe in, we're bringing in all this healing sunshine. So it's saturating every cell in the body, going from the top of the head down to the chin, the neck, down the arms to the tips of the fingers, down the chest, down the waist, the hips, the legs, the knees, the shins, the feet, saturating every cell in the body, every muscle, every ligament, every bone, all those layers of the skin. Maybe you have a spicy area in your body. Let's invite a little bit more of healing sunshine into that area. Breathe it, feel it, imagine as if it were already true, bringing in that healing light. Good. Notice wherever you're feeling supported by the surface beneath you. Maybe it's a chair, your behind, your feet on the floor, the back of the legs, the shoulders, the back of the head on the ground. So notice that weighted sensation of support of whatever surface is holding you up. So that's kind of like a heavy sensation. Now flip that, feeling all the places in the front side of the body, feeling light and feathery. The arms are light, the legs are light. Maybe you're feeling air coming across the neck, the face, the arms, the hands. So in the front places in the body feels light. In the places behind you where you're feeling supported, the body feels heavy. So contrast feeling heavy and then feeling light. Again, feeling light and feeling heavy. Good. And then let's come back to the present moment by doing what's called an elongated breath. So you breathe in to a count of 4. I will clap my hands 4 times. We'll pause, and then we'll breathe out for a count of 5. So again, this is to encourage lowering the blood pressure, lessening the heart rate. So together, let's breathe in. Slowly, let's exhale. Once again, belly big, breathe in. Slowly, slowly exhale. One more time. Breathe in, belly big. Slowly exhale. Beautiful. So I invite you to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. So wriggle those toes, those fingers, move the wrists, the ankles. If you're lying on your back, bring a knee into your chest and the other. If you're here seated on the floor or the chair, knees wide. And let's rotate the knees if you're seated. If you're lying on your back, rotate the knees. So kind of giving your backside, your pelvic bones a little bit of a massage here. And then let's pause completely and then go in the other direction. So go the other way. You can do windshield wipers, you can do knees into the chest, whatever you need to do, a little bit of movement. And then come back to the center. We're going to come over onto our side body nice and slow and push up to a seated place. Again, we can feel a little dizzy when we come up off the floor. So let's kind of have those hands to heart center, chin towards the chest to kind of get the equilibrium shift to be a little bit more still if that's affecting you today. And from here, with the hands at heart center, either hands together or hands stacked, let's think about one thing that we're grateful for, or maybe an idea of gratitude. We're going to grab it, clasp it, place it into our heart space as we have that chin towards our chest, nice and soft. I appreciate y'all's dedication, determination, and discipline, and that responsibility for signing up for a class, for coming to class, or maybe watching a Veterans Yoga Project video to help you on your journey of self-health, self-healing. And then I invite you to lift your head, to gaze forward, eyes open or closed, as we say our traditional sayings to end a yoga class. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take that strength, that attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. I will now stop the recording.